Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and today I wanted to talk about Mulan and if this 2020 live action remake is actually made for kids. So this past week, Disney just about broke the internet, sent everyone, movie fans across the globe, into a frenzy as they announced Mulan would in fact be released to Disney Plus. However, not only do you have to be subscribed to the Disney Plus service to see Mulan, you will then also have to give a $30 fee on top of your subscription fee in order to view the film. Now, this comes long after months and months and months of speculations and delays on what Disney would do with this massive film that cost them over $200 million for the budget alone. Now, I have a different video that does go into detail and discuss video on demand and how sustainable that model is looking with the price points. However, a big argument that people had when it came down to Mulan was that we aren't the target audience. Families and kids are the target audience. So a family of four makes that 37 in total dollar price point worthwhile. And that really actually took me a bit by surprise because on the surface, of course Mulan is a family-friendly film, right? But is Disney really targeting kids with their marketing for Mulan? Of course, I haven't seen the film yet, so I can't really say if the film itself is made for kids. However, we can discuss how Disney has chosen to market this film and look at how they have marketed the live-action remakes to this point, and discuss how they have more than muddied that water on who these films are actually made for. The definition of Disney as a company since about 2010 has been nostalgia, whether it be the Star Wars reboots, getting the old cast, relying on old storylines, and even setting films back in the original trilogy timeline. Or we go over to Pixar, bringing out old, long-awaited sequels to beloved films. And then, of course, we get on over to Disney's live-action department, which has solely relied on nostalgia and these live-action remakes to stay afloat. And when you look at the numbers, it's pretty easy to see why. Nostalgia has sold. Looking at family-friendly films who have performed well at the box office, only the Frozen films and Zootopia crossed $1 billion when looking at PG-rated films that are not a sequel or live-action remake. In fact, Pixar has solely relied on sequels to get into the billion-dollar club, with The Incredibles 2, Finding Dory, and Toy Story 3 and 4. The one sequel to get in was Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. But outside of that, it's been Alice in Wonderland, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and Aladdin. So why is it? Why is it that these films particularly are making so much more money than the new properties, than brand new titles? Outside of Alice in Wonderland, why are they making more money than the live-action remakes based on older properties, such as Maleficent and Cinderella, Peach Dragon, or Dumbo? Because they're heavily marketing toward millennials, as well as young Generation X. Now, I know when people hear millennial, they just think young, but in fact, millennials run from mid-20s up to almost 40 years old at this point. Millennials have children. Millennials have families at this point, meaning this is the perfect time to strike on that audience who is so nostalgic for these big properties, and now they have young ones that they can go ahead and drag to the theater to watch it with them. And it's my belief that particularly with these live-action remakes, Disney has done the work to market to the nostalgia of the parents so that they drag their kids to go see these films, rather than kids getting so excited they drag their parents, in cases such as Frozen and Zootopia. All of these properties are staples for most millennials growing up. The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, Aladdin, Finding Nemo. The Incredibles, Toy Story, and Disney knows this. Thus, they've been marketing towards the millennials. Now, if millennials have kids, as I said, they'll drag their kids along. But even if they don't have kids, they've been willing to go see it because the 18 to 34 demographic has been the largest demographic many a time for these films that made this billion-dollar club. Now, when we look at Mulan, it's seeming as if they're marketing towards the kids even less than they have with the other Disney live-action films. Mulan is actually the first live-action Disney remake that is rated PG-13. All of the rest, including Alice in Wonderland, up until this point, have only garnered a PG rating. Secondly, they cut out all of the music. When thinking of so many of the iconic staples in the Disney franchises, including the live-action remakes we've discussed, musicals are what have been the bread and butter of the Disney company. However, do notice that they continue to play on nostalgia for millennials and those who grew up on the original animation by putting reflection into the majority of the early trailers. Just an instrumental version, but that's all they need to throw their true target demographic back into nostalgia zone and get excited for the film. But we know the songs that we all knew and loved from the original Mulan animated film will not be included in this live-action film, in favor of a more serious and faithful tone to the original folklore. And in conjunction with eliminating the songs, Disney has also chosen to get rid of the comedic relief, the side characters of Mushu and the cricket. These trailers have heavily forecasted a more serious film that is an action war epic rated PG-13 titled Mulan. They haven't played up to laughs. They haven't played up to any sort of humor or light-hearted, light tones in these trailers. It has been about the action and the emotion. What about a serious PG-13 action war film screams marketed toward a young audience? Outside of the name Mulan, pretty much nothing. Now, of course, as they do with all of their films, Disney is hoping that this will appeal to a large family audience. That is, in fact, their bread and butter. But if you want to argue that the people complaining about the $30 price point aren't the target audience and they're not really the demographic for this film, I think you have to really look at what Disney has presented. Look at their past when it comes to the other live-action films and realize if people are mistaking themselves as the target demographic, that's because Disney has done so themselves. They've really jumbled the waters on who these films are made for. Oftentimes we say these are the same tales we all love, but for a new generation. However, what type of lasting impression have these live-action remakes made on kids? Yes, the box office is huge, but when you go to Disney World, it's still the animation that's fully present. When you shop online and search Disney, it's still the animated characters that you'll find with merchandising. Once again, who is the target audience for these films? And has Disney really marketed Mulan particularly as a film for children? My argument? Not so much. But I would love to hear your thoughts on the subject in the comment section down below. I do hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. I can't wait to discuss Mulan and all things to do with the marketing and nostalgia factor of these Disney live-action remakes in the comment section, or of course you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!